What's up, you guys? Oh my god, the clap is back, and I know people are so mad, and I feel like that was just way too loud, and I'm so sorry, and everyone's already clicking off. Anyway, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to my podcast called So the Tea Is. I'm your host, David Jared, and today, as promised, we are going to be diving into the tea. It's not necessarily tea, but Britney Spears' new book called The Woman in Me. And I just want to make it clear, I'm not calling it like tea because everything that happened, I think that just news sources and pages are just profiting off of the drama, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to have an open discussion and conversation about her life and just my opinions on everything that happened to her. Like, she genuinely didn't do anything wrong, and it is just such a sad situation. If you have not read the book yet, please go to Barnes & Noble, get it on Amazon. Honestly, I'll put it in my Amazon storefront and I'll link it down below if you guys want, just so you guys can go get it. Like, literally go read it right now. It's absolutely amazing. Britney Spears, if you don't know, was under a conservatorship, which is basically when someone has control over you legally by courts, normally because there is a mental, I guess physical too, problem or something that is putting that person in the way of doing everyday tasks the way they're supposed to, or that they might put themselves in harm's way. And then a court rules that a person, in this case her father, has control over her. And I guess in some cases it can be a fine thing, but a lot of times they take it very far, especially when fame is involved and celebrities and Hollywood and money, especially if you don't come from money, families who don't come from money, and then you see like your child get all this fame. And I just think it is so crazy how someone can just profit off of and take everything from someone who is doing all the work. And there were so many people, that benefited off of Britney's success and took her money, the whole team behind it. And it was like 10 plus people that were getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars, like every year, like life-changing salaries, like literally like off of a year, off of what she was doing. Like, you would be good for life, like you could retire, whatever, by literally, like, there was one person that said in the book that got paid like some crazy amount of money, of Britney's money, by the way. So to control Britney, that she couldn't spend her own money. And it's just so crazy to me. Like, literally, she wanted to take her dancers out to dinner after a show on tour at Vegas. The bill was like $1,000 for her and all the dancers. She puts her card down and it gets declined because she has a $2,000 a week, or is it a month? I don't know, limit. I don't remember exactly, so don't quote me on that. It's either $2,000 a week or $2,000 a month, which is crazy when you're making millions and millions of dollars a year and you're literally a touring artist and you're getting only a small percentage of that money, and you have kids, and she wasn't allowed to see her kids, and she just kept getting taken away to these facilities when she didn't need to be in those facilities. Like, the help that she needed was probably mental, from literally everyone around her acting like she's this crazy person when she wasn't, and they knew that she wasn't, and they knew that they could just take advantage of her and her success and her fame so that they could get money. And I think that is so messed up, and I genuinely don't understand how someone can do that and literally have a child and watch that child grow and then just already not be the best parents to that child. No offense, allegedly, I don't know, don't sue me. And then do all of that. You are literally the scum of the earth. I feel like Wendy Williams right now. I literally feel like Wendy Williams. Bring her back. I don't care. Was she a little problematic? Yes, but she's so iconic, and I would just love to hear everything that she has to say about every celebrity thing this year. There's just been so much. I'm dying to know. She was supposed to do a podcast and it didn't happen. We need her back as a society. I feel like life would just be so much better to just wake up to new Wendy every morning, like on TV, and like see the clips on TikTok, like she would go off. But like, hope that she's doing well. Anyway, that was just a tangent. Anyway, but it is just so crazy, and I think especially just in the early 2000s media, just like the narratives that were being pushed towards her, and to either be this crazy person or to be this person that like broke Justin Timberlake's heart, and like how could you, and just watch the media like switch on you for no reason. It is so crazy, and it's just crazy because we keep doing this to young people, especially young women and child stars, and it's just so weird. And it's just like, why are, like, yes, if you're like TMZ or like paparazzi or whatever, it is your job, so it does get like weird ethically, because it is like, that is their job and that is how they're feeding their families. But then it's like, okay, like give it a break, like you don't need to follow around like a 19-year-old or 18-year-old with a camera all the time, and like with their house and with kids, and it's just like, it gets borderline not safe. And I just, before we even talk about child stars, I do want to stay on the topic of Britney. I have so much love and respect for her, and I genuinely hope that she's doing okay mentally, because I know I wouldn't. And I think that it takes so much strength to have, just to see a light at the end of the tunnel for yourself and for your kids, and to just want to just still protect the people that did you so wrong, and to just obey in hopes that it'll get better. And they literally put her through hell and back, and I can't even imagine just what that would be like. And I know most people wouldn't and couldn't survive those conditions. And people are like, oh, she was rich, but like, sure, that's nice, but it's like, it doesn't matter. And she really didn't have access to her money, so like, she wasn't rich. She was rich, but if you're only getting like that much a month, you're not rich. Like, you're not, like, she could have literally just like quit everything, worked at McDonald's, and lived a happy life, and well, she would still be in control, but like, she would have made the same amount of money and then literally like touring and putting on a show almost every single day in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not right at all. And I think it's just so messed up how the media just scrutinized her growing up, and especially as a woman. And I think the times of just her and like Janet Jackson, and this isn't to like comfort Justin Timberlake at all, I just think that it just, especially in those two cases, and just like with literally every child star, it's just like, even with Justin Timberlake too, like we scrutinize them and whatever, but more so the woman than the man. And it's just, it's so messed up. And it's just like, why are we like, even nowadays, why are we canceling like someone for doing this because she's a woman, a young woman, but like guys do it and it's fine and no one says anything? Like, it's just very weird. And I think that there's so much that we can learn from the Britney situation in the media and in everything that happens today, and even with TikTok. And TikTok is such an interesting thing because it's just a new platform that we really like. It's just a new medium, and it's a new way to respond to things. It's a new way, like, you can stitch things. Interviews come out, videos go viral like all the time, then you have 1,000 comments giving their opinion on this. Like, if it's a 10-second video and there's 20 words in the video, every single person is going to focus on one different word that you said. You said this word this way. This word could mean this, like this, that. You looked over here. Like, pick apart everything that someone says, and whether it's to make fun of them or whether it's to agree with them or whatever it is, it just brings on this whole level of interactive media that isn't always the best if it's not used in a healthy way. And if people are coming onto the app, as so many people do, to hate and to tear other people's down, because whether it's because they're jealous or whatever it is, because they're not happy, whatever it is, it's just like, or if it's the media and it's their job, it's like, we have to give some people a break. And it's, I don't know, it's really weird. And I see it, like, I don't know, people always compare like Britney and Addison Rae, and people are like, what? Like, I don't see it. I do see it, because it's like, they're both like young. Addison is the new pop princess. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, like, have you guys heard her EP? Like, have you guys heard it? Sweetie, like, I knew from Obsessed. Like, people don't understand the potential that she has as an artist and as a pop star and as, like, a celebrity. Like, she just has, like, the it girl factor. And I think especially with, like, her paparazzi photos, like, her going out, whether she calls them paparazzi or not, like, she was just out, like, reading Britney's book. Like, she had just got it from, like, Barnes & Noble, and she was, like, halfway through just, like, reading it for the pictures. I'm obsessed with her in her little Y2K outfits. Like, she goes off. She really goes off, and she is just, but even with her, like, when she was literally, like, 19, 20, when she first started off, everyone was calling her a whale. She wasn't. And even if she was, what are you doing commenting that on a teenage girl's body? And people were just sending her death threats and were just so mean to her. And she was always just such a nice person and, like, never, as Britney was, and just, like, never really did anything wrong to really offend people. But people were so jealous of her that she was pretty and successful. And now she's hanging out with the Kardashians and all this stuff. And she's, like, making music. Like, what is she doing? What is this? She's on this Netflix movie. Like, what is this? And I think people get so just, like, on one person and on these young people. But it's, like, you know, it's not like Addison Rae, like, came from, you know, like, billion-dollar businesses. And I feel like she's just a young girl, like, navigating everything in the same way that we are all navigating everything. But she's doing it with a million eyes, you know? Maybe now she doesn't have to have the same, you know, worries and stresses that we have, but some of them do. It's like when you do have depression, anxiety, and when you're dealing with all of that and just, you know, changes in front of the whole entire world and getting judged regardless of whatever you do and anything. And I relate to Addison a lot, honestly. It's hard, and I think even with, like, the D'Amelios, with Dixie, and especially with Charlie, I think she started this so young. Like, she was literally, like, what, 15 when she started? And it's crazy, and she rose to fame. And it is, like, okay, like, if you don't want the fame, like, you can stop doing it. But it's, like, if you had, like, that many followers, would you really stop doing it? And she's talked about wanting to stop in the past when she's been at low points, and it's just like, it's not a normal thing to have eyes on you. It's not a normal thing, especially when you're 15 and when you're, you know, honestly, between, at any age really, but especially between, like, 15 and, like, let's say, like, 23. Like, that is such a weird age, or even, like, 25. You're growing up in front of the world, you're changing, especially between, like, 15 and 21. Like, you're gonna change so much. You're gonna start, like, cursing. You're gonna start, like, doing other stuff, and it's like your audience is like, oh my god, or whatever. I saw, I don't know if you guys know. If you don't, I love her so much. Emma, you guys know, like, Emma and Ellie, like, the family channel. Emma Marie, she did a video and she was talking about, like, assumptions, and she was talking about how, like, everyone was, like, going crazy that she was, like, cursing, like, in a TikTok, like, sound, you know, whatever, and, like, just, like, stuff like that. And it's so crazy because it is, like, okay, like, if you do have this, like, family audience, or, like, you know, people grow up with you, and then, like, now you're, like, not, you know, like, she started when she was, like, 12, or, like, really little, and now you're, like, not 12 anymore. It's like, oh my god. Or, like, even with, like, JoJo Siwa, and just, like, there's so many examples of this, even with, like, Jeanette McCurdy, I think, and just, there's so many, quote-unquote, like, child stars, and we just don't treat them well at all by the media, and especially in young women, and it's a problem, and we have to change that and change the narrative around them. And, you know, especially in these young TikTok stars like Addison and Charlie, and it's just like, I don't know, it's sad. And I mean, obviously, like, yes, like, their problems are, you know, they don't have, like, they're having these problems in, like, a mansion and having, like, you know, thousands coming in by the second, but it's like, it doesn't matter, because, like I just said, if you still have those problems mentally, like, it doesn't matter where you have those problems. Like, you're still going to have those problems, and it's still going to feel the same. And if you have millions of eyes on you and people commenting on your normal things, it's like, no one knows what it's like to go through a breakup and then have millions of people for years post edits of your relationship and pictures, and to comment and to give their opinions and to make, like, tea pages and videos and all this stuff based on a breakup. And no one knows what actually happens in anything, and no one actually knows these people. We know what they put out and what they choose to put out to us, and then I guess whatever the headlines say, which most of the time aren't true. and whatever people stitch and whatever, and people do this. We're just like, we're so opinionated on everyone else. Why can't we just be opinionated on ourselves? And it's like most of that judgment comes from jealousy. Obviously, if they were doing something wrong, that, I mean, I don't, cancel culture is a whole nother thing, but it's like, if they were doing something wrong, then obviously, yes, like, they're young, but, people should tell them. But it's like, that doesn't mean that to send anyone death threats. Like, I don't understand that. And it's like all these grown people doing that, and it's really sad. And I mean, even with like Justin Bieber, like he started this when he was like 15 or younger on YouTube, but like when he got his rise to fame, I mean, he definitely this century has had the biggest rise to fame. And just having all those fans and outside of your hotel, and everyone is always watching you, paparazzi literally chasing you from the time that you're 15 to now, waiting outside your house. And it's just so crazy. And I think especially so many people were just so weird to him being 15 and just sexualizing a 15-year-old, and grown women flirting with him on national television, and just so many people were just so weird and treated him so uncomfortably. And I'm like, why do we keep doing this to like children in the media? Like, they're literally children, and it's like, yes, they're in the media, yes, but it's like, they're doing all the same things that every other teenager is doing. Like, are you really going to cancel someone because they're 20 doing the same thing that everyone in college is doing? Like, I don't think that is fair. And I don't think it's fair, obviously they have a platform, and yes, they should use that platform in a good way, and they should, not do bad necessarily, like, I mean, morally bad things is what I'm saying. And, there are things that are unforgivable, and there are things that definitely, are learning lessons for people and influencers and celebrities in general. But it's just like, just the treatment of younger celebrities is a problem. And it's so weird because like certain celebrities, let fly, certain young celebrities, and certain we don't. And it is really weird. And I know that those people that are really affected by the hate and get so much hate definitely sit back and are like, what? Like, why me? And, it's weird. And I think that we just have to be mindful of everyone, because it's like, back then with Britney, like I saw Brooke was talking about this in a TikTok, like back then with Britney, everyone was jumping on the bandwagon that she was crazy, and then all of this happened, Like, I don't think at the time there were a lot of people, and definitely not in the media, that were doing like what I'm doing right now, and being like, oh my god, like she wasn't crazy, like she's not crazy, she's normal. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a normal thing to have that many eyes on you, to be having to, have all these insane like life changes and hardships, and then to, go on like the VMAs or the AMAs and perform like this breakout single. Like, that's not a normal thing that you have to do. And it was so just like illustrated for the cameras. And when your life is so that, and so you have to be, especially in the music industry, you have to be what the label wants you to be. You have to be what it's going to sell. You have to be, if you're a woman, you have to, show something. You have to make us some money. You have to dance. You have to do this. And I see this a lot, especially in not necessarily the new generation of pop stars, because there really aren't any except for Addison A. But like with like female rap, I think that it is just so obvious that people are trying to mold, whether it's like the next Nicki Minaj or the next Cardi B or the next like Megan Thee Stallion, or people are just like, I don't know. It's just very weird. There's just a million female rappers, as there should be, but it's just like labels think that you have to, in order to be successful, you have to dress like this. Oh my god, Ice Spice dressed like this? She's successful. She has hits. She's popping on TikTok. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she, just did a song with Taylor Swift and Nicki Minaj, so now you have to dress like that. Now you have to dance like this. Now you have to do this. It's like, no. And that is where the music industry falls, because it's like no one wants a clone of Ice Spice. No one wants a clone of Nicki Minaj, of Ariana Grande, of Taylor Swift. It happens all the time. Justin Bieber. I mean, literally look at how many like guys around the time of Justin Bieber that labels have tried to make the next Justin Bieber. And that is a whole nother conversation that I will honestly, actually, I could have that conversation now. We're just going to make this an extra long podcast episode. The whole, like, next so-and-so, the next Justin Bieber. Tyler's popping off right now, and I absolutely am obsessed with her. You guys know Water. Obsessed with her. She's amazing. I've been obsessed with her for a minute, actually. But everyone is calling her the next Rihanna. What? Like, why can't we just especially with young black girls, why can't we let these black girls just be them? And not the next Rihanna, not the next Beyonce, and not the next Nicki Minaj, because there will never be any of those. There won't be another Taylor Swift. There won't be another Justin Bieber. There won't be another Michael Jackson. There won't be another Janet Jackson, not another Bruno Mars, not another Ariana Grande. Like, it won't happen. Like, these are, like, legends we're talking about. There's not going to be another legend. There's not going to be another Britney Spears. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can relate, like, you know, okay, Addison and Britney are, like, somewhat similar, but it's not, like, you know what I'm saying? And especially with Beyonce, and I see this so much with young black girls. I see it with Chloe, I see it with Normani, I see it with Halle, I see it with Victoria Monet, I see it with literally anyone that can sing and dance. The next Beyonce. They don't want to be the next Beyonce. They want to be the next Normani, the next Chloe, the next Victoria Monet. That's what they want to be. They don't want to be the next Beyonce, and there will never, if there's any artist other than Michael Jackson that there will never be another of, it's Beyonce. Like, hello? Like, no one can do what Beyonce does, and she's still alive. There's no next Beyonce, like, no. You know, and it's like, even like Blue Ivy, like saying she's the next Beyonce, like, she's a Blue Ivy, and she's gonna be iconic, and maybe as big as Beyonce, if not bigger, sure, but she's Blue Ivy. She's not the next Beyonce. Leave Beyonce to being Beyonce, because she's the only person that can be Beyonce. Justin Bieber's the only person that can be Justin Bieber. You see? Britney Spears is the only person that can be Britney Spears. Madonna, Cher, you get the point. Prince, you get the point. Whoever it is, when you're talking about legends, it's like there will never be another. And the music industry wants to have all these clones and whatever. And with TikTok, oh my god, this person, like Olivia Rodrigo got this hit. Oh my god, she sang at a piano. Sing at a piano, sing at a piano, sing at a piano, sing at a piano. Copy this. You know, copy this sound. And it's so obvious. And I don't know why music industries and labels think that it's not so obvious. Or when something's obviously like meant to be a TikTok hit and it's like, okay, so then act as such. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know. So just be transparent with us. And I just hope for young artists, young, you know, people in the media, in this industry, and even like people that are interested in it, or influencers and young creators, whether you have a huge following or not, it is hard. It is hard to constantly have eyes on you, no matter how many eyes it is, and to get hate comments. It's not a normal thing. And for anyone to watch you, like even people watching me right now, like, that's not a normal thing to watch other people. Like, that was not a thing 20 years ago. Unless it was on television and movies, that was not a thing. Or like you listen to people on the radio. It wasn't a normal thing to, you know, have podcasts, to have YouTube, to TikTok, to you can scroll through like hundreds of videos per second. Like, that's not a normal thing, and with that comes so much judgment, and we just need to take a step back and just extend the kindness that maybe we show to ourselves, or if not, we should show to ourselves, to other people, because at the end of the day, we're all people. We're all trying to figure out the world and life, and we just don't need to be so mean all the time, you know. And definitely I would do a whole video or a whole podcast talking about hate and hate comments, because it is hard. It is hard, and it is not a normal thing. And I mean, even if you're not an influencer, people still hate you. And it's like, okay, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with the fact that, one, not everyone's going to like you, but two, people are just going to make up fake stuff about you and run with it and all this stuff. And it's like, how do you deal with that? And we just have to the real answer is just be nicer to one another. And that's that. And I will do a whole podcast episode talking about how I deal with hate. I mean, I've talked about it a little bit in the past, in some past episodes. You guys can go watch that in the meantime, and go catch up on the past 2 episodes of season 3. I'm honestly so excited, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for the amazing response to this season so far. I genuinely do feel so much more comfortable talking in front of the camera this season, and just talking and just sitting down and, just being real. And whether it's talking about struggles that I've been through or talking about other people's or just life and what's going on, I feel genuinely comfortable with you guys, and I want to thank you for extending that comfort and for making this feel like a safe place. And just all the response from the podcast, whether on Spotify, YouTube, in my comments, DMs, whatever it is, has been really nice. And just the fact that people still want to listen to what I have to say and care about what I have to say, I love. And I genuinely love seeing comments. So if you guys are interested or want to say something about anything that I'm talking about, or if you have any suggestion for guests, I am having guests super duper soon, and I'm so excited. It's going to be so fun and so iconic. I've been waiting for that moment for such a long time to bring my friends on the podcast, so I cannot wait for that. And I just love you guys so much, and whatever you went through, it will be okay. Shout out to Britney, go buy the book, and just be nice to one another. I love you all so much, and I will see you guys next Tuesday for more So the Tears. I love you guys.